So hello students, a very good afternoon and welcome back to Daily Newspaper Analysis. Today is 22nd of May and for today we have four important articles from the Hindu. So let's start our discussion. The first important article is a very important because recently it has been mandatory in West Bengal's madrasas to sing Vande Mataram. So here we shall be discussing what are the important debates related to this article. Second article is related to BCCI, that is Board of Control for Cricket in India. So recently there is an ongoing debate that whether BCCI should be considered as a public authority under RTI Act or not. Next article is related to a debate related to sedition law in India. So we shall be discussing what has been mentioned by Supreme Court recently. And finally, an important article where United Nations has backed a climate ruling which was given by International Court of Justice, but India has refrained from voting. So this is also important article. We shall be discussing what is the significance of that. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay. So let's start our important article. See, this article is important also. It's very interesting also. So please be with me for this article. So here, basically, this article is related to a debate because recently in madrasas of West Bengal, it has been made mandatory or now it is compulsory in madrasas to sing Vande Mataram. Okay, so this is the complete news. Now let's discuss what is the issue here. See, so here, what is the news? So recently, West Bengal government have made Vande Mataram compulsory in all recognized madrasas. So see, madrasas can be of many types. For example, madrasas which are completely controlled by the government. So government madrasas or the madrasas which are being funded by the state government or central government. So they are the aided madrasas. And there are some of the madrasas which are not funded by the government, but yes, they are recognized because any institution can exist only if it is recognized by any government. State government or central government. So basically in all these kind of madrasas, now it is compulsory that students have to recite or students have to sing Vande Mataram. Now see, what is the objective of government for this? That means why government has made it mandatory. So here the objective of the government is to promote the feeling of patriotism, right? Because see, as you already know that Vande Mataram is not a new thing. It is not a new song. It was earlier used by our freedom fighters also. And that time, what was the importance of that? It was important because it could easily raise the anti-British sentiments. That's why earlier also during Indian freedom struggle, Vande Mataram was used. It was very important in those times also because Vande Mataram was used to promote the feeling of patriotism as well as it was used to promote the national unity. Because if the nation was united, then only we can go against the Britishers, right? So this was the main objective of government of freedom fighters in that time also, and present also the objective of the government is to promote the patriotism. Now, on the face of it, there is no problem, right? On the face of it, everything seems very good. Issue here is that, see, Vande Mataram, which is considered as national song of India, so Vande Mataram contain in total of 6 stanzas. And see, as we have already discussed that Vande Mataram was earlier used by freedom fighters also. Why it was used? To promote the national unity, to promote patriotism among the citizens of the country. But even in those times, only starting 2 stanzas were used to promote the feeling of patriotism. Because reason here is that the first 2 stanzas of Vande Mataram are considered secular. Because in those stanzas, we do not have any mention of any religious figure, or no, there is no mention of any religious authority. So that's why first 2 in those times also, first 2 stanzas were considered secular, and even in today's time also, only first 2 stanzas of Vande Mataram are considered secular, and they can be sung by each and every citizen of the country. From here only the complete controversy started. Why? Because now it has been made mandatory in the madrasas that you have to sing, the students in the madrasas have to sing all the 6 stanzas of Vande Mataram. So see, here problem is that first 2 stanzas do not contain anything, no, which can hurt the religious sentiments of any community. But if you look towards the later stanzas, for example, see, these are the last 2 stanzas. What is being mentioned in these last 2 stanzas? Bahute tumi ma Shakti, Hriday tumi ma Bhakti. So these are mentioning the Hindu goddesses. For example, Tvam hi Durga, Vani Vidya Daini. These are mentioning goddess Durga, goddess Saraswati. So these both are the last two stanzas of Vande Mataram. So see, obviously this will hurt the religious sentiments of Muslims, right? Because imagine a person who is belonging to Hindu community and he is being asked to praise something of other religion. So maybe that person can do that thing voluntarily, but you can't force anyone, right? So basically, here the Muslims are saying that just by forcing us to recite anything, you cannot develop the feeling of patriotism, right? Because even if you are doing that, we are just saying it for the sake of saying, because you are forcing us. But if you want to promote the feeling of patriotism, that feeling must be voluntarily. So you must do some things through which this feeling of patriotism comes from the heart, and you don't have to force anyone. So this is the complete news, that starting two stanzas are okay because they were earlier also used by the freedom fighters. But if you are forcing anyone to recite all the six stanzas, it will hurt the religious sentiments of the other communities. So this was the complete news. Now, since we are discussing about Vande Mataram, so let's have a quick prelims related facts. Yes, one more important thing, since we are discussing here that it will hurt the religious sentiments of other communities. So here we are talking about Muslim community. So other important thing is, when we are talking about madrasas, so these madrasas, just a second. Yes. So here these madrasas are considered as the minority educational institutions in India. Okay. So here we are talking about madrasas, and these madrasas are considered as minority educational institutions in India. So see, minority educational institutions have fundamental rights under Article 30 of the Constitution. What Article 30 says? That minorities have the complete right to establish and to administer educational institutions. No interference will be done by any state government or central government. So now, if you are forcing the students who are studying in the minority educational institutions, if you are forcing, that means you are not allowing them to operate that organization autonomously. So this is also the violation of their fundamental right under Article 30. Also, this is also violation of their fundamental right under Article 25, that right of any person for the freedom of religion of any person. So basically, this is violating the fundamental rights of community as well as the individual person under Article 30 as well as Article 25 of the Constitution. So these are the major issues here. Now, since we are discussing about Vande Mataram, so let's discuss some of the prelims related facts. So first important thing is, who composed it. So please remember, Vande Mataram is composed by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Very, very important for the exam. Who composed Vande Mataram? It was composed by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Now here comes the importance of his novel. So his novel, that is Anand Mat, which was written in 1882. So this song has been mentioned under Anand Mat, which was written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. See, this question has already been asked on Anand Mat, that who wrote Anand Mat, in which year Anand Mat was written. So that's why please remember these small facts. Next thing is, this national song, that is Vande Mataram, it was set to music by Rabindranath Tagore. Next thing is, see, as we have already discussed, that first two paragraphs or first two stanzas of Vande Mataram are secular. That's why during the freedom fighter times also, the first two verses was adopted in 1937 as the Indian national song by Congress Working Committee. Why it was done? Because if in those times also, they could have said that no, we will be singing, it is mandatory that we will be singing all the six stanzas. But why they did not do this? Because if you are forcing anyone, it is not promoting the feeling of patriotism. You are just forcing any person, right? So in those times also, only first two stanzas were adopted as the national song. Now, if we talk of the independent India, so when this was adopted as a national song, so it was adopted on 24th of January 1950. This date is very important, because on this date, national song was also adopted and national anthem was also adopted. So it was adopted on 24th January 1950 by Dr. Rajendra Prasad, who was the president of India at that time. So here we adopted national song also, as well as we adopted national anthem also. Now, important thing for the exam is that Indian Constitution does not explicitly mention about national song. That means the lyrics or the wordings of national song are not being mentioned in the Indian Constitution, or Indian Constitution does not say that what is national song of India, or for that matter, even for the national anthem also, we did not have any mention of national anthem, that what is considered as national anthem of India. So only under Article 51A, Clause A of the Constitution, it mentions that citizens must respect the Constitution, national flag, as well as national anthem. So please remember, we do not have any wordings or lyrics related to national song or the national anthem in the Constitution of India. So this was the overall article related to madrasas, related to national song of India. So now, just out of curiosity, please go back and read all the 6 stanzas. Then you will understand that why recent controversy has arrived. Yes. Now, next article is very important. Okay. So this article is related to BCCI, that is Board of Control for Cricket in India. So basically, this article will be discussing that whether BCCI will come under public authority or not. So see, recently what has happened, I will explain the complete issue. Recently what has happened, CCI, that is the Competition Commission of India, recently this commission has said that BCCI, which is the Board of Cricket Control in India, recently Competition Commission of India has said that BCCI is not considered as a public authority. So what is the clarification? That BCCI is not a public authority, do not come under the definition of public authority under Right to Information Act, that is RTI Act in India. So this is the recent clarification which was made by CCCI. Now, this clarification which is made by Competition Commission of India, earlier in 2018, this commission only said that BCCI is a part of public authority, but now it has reversed its previous judgment. See, why CCCI is saying all these things? It is saying because, just a second. Yes. Why this commission is saying that BCCI is not part of public authority? Because it is saying that it is not created by the constitution, hence it is not public authority, or it is not created by any law which is made by the parliament, or it is not substantially funded by any state government or central government. That's why CIC has said that BCCI cannot be considered as public authority, because neither it is created by the constitution, nor it is created by any law, nor it is substantially funded by any state government or central government. So these are the issues. So this is the justification which is given by CIC. Now, the problem here is that this is a major setback to the transparency. Transparency of what? It is a major setback to the transparency of the overall sports governance in India. Because see, if you are saying that BCCI is not a public authority, then you cannot ask questions related to BCCI, and BCCI will not be having any obligation to put forward any information in the public domain. That's why this will be a major setback to the transparency related to sport governance in India. Why I am saying this? Because there are many instances or examples through which you can easily prove that BCCI is a public authority, because BCCI is performing public functions. How it is performing public functions? See, first important thing is that BCCI, or this board, is managing the Indian cricket team, right? This board is managing Indian cricket team. Second thing, that this body is representing India on the international platforms. This body is representing India on the international platforms. So then how can you say that this is not performing a public function? And if it is performing a public function, you have to say that it is a public authority. So so in this way you can say that this is a public authority because it manages all the affairs of Indian cricket team. It selects the members for Indian cricket team, and it is representing India on the international platforms. Hence, it is doing public functions. Now, next claim which was made by CIC, that since it is not substantially funded by the any government, state government or central government, hence we cannot call it as a public authority. Now, please focus on this. Though BCCI is not directly funded or not substantially funded by any government, but indirectly the governments in India are supporting BCCI. How they are supporting? First of all, various kind of tax exemptions are given to BCCI in India. Second important point is the BCCI in India are using the land which is subsidized. And who subsidized it? It is subsidized by government of India or any state government. Next thing, BCCI is using the public infrastructure only. So how you can say that government is not supporting or government is not funding BCCI? So that's why through all these points you can say that there might be a possibility that BCCI must be considered as the public authority. Okay, so these are the important things here. Now, if I say that why we are focusing more on BCCI, so first important thing is we are focusing because according to us there are some instances, there are some examples in which we can say that BCCI is performing various public functions. So that's why BCCI must be considered as a public authority and it must put all its affairs in the public domain. Next important point for this is, first thing is that it is performing public functions. Next important point is that BCCI is managing huge amount of financial resources. Why? Because of the recent success of IPL or Indian Premier League matches in India. That's why BCCI is managing huge amount of financial resources. And if any particular authority, if a single entity is managing huge financial resources, then there might be possibility of corruption. That's why it is very important to be transparent in all these things. And how we can be transparent? Only if we are considering it as a public authority, only then we can ensure the transparent governance in the BCCI. Next important thing is that BCCI have broadcasting rights also in India. BCCI have broadcasting rights in India. BCCI is being funded by various institutions in India and all over the world. Then how we can say that it is not important for BCCI to be transparent? And how BCCI can be transparent? Only if it is considered as a public authority under ITI Act, and only then people can ask different kind of questions to BCCI. So this was the overall news. And yes, next important thing is that, see, all these points are proving that BCCI must be considered as a public authority. Next thing is, already Lodha committee have recommended that BCCI must be a part of public authority. Law Commission, Supreme Court observations have also said that BCCI must be public authority. And earlier, Competition Commission of India has also said in 2018, but now it has reversed its previous judgment. Okay, so in this way, yes, so these are the ways in which you read any topic. That no, if any kind of decision or if any kind of clarification is being given, so you must study that topic in detail. That why these things are being said, what will be the impact of that, what will be the way forward, etc. Yes, so if we talk about sedition law in India, so here section 124A of IPC deals with sedition law of India. So basically what is sedition? So sedition means any kind of speech or any kind of action which is promoting hatred against the government. So if any person is charged under section 124A of IPC, so sedition proceedings will be going on against that person. Now see, problem with sedition law is that this law is going on since colonial times. Right. So this law was not made under independent India. This law is going on from colonial times. And earlier, why this law was used? This law earlier was used to suppress the dissent, to suppress the freedom of speech and expression. So this was the problem in those times, and this problem is continuing till now also. Hmm. Hmm. Yes, so this law was not made in independent India, it was made during colonial times. And what was the reason to bring that law in those times? To suppress the dissent, to suppress the freedom of speech and expression of freedom fighters. Second important is, so second thing is, see, first thing it was brought during colonial times. Second thing is, even since this law is applicable even till today, so here also in today's time also it is used to curb freedom of speech and expression. And more importantly, it is being used against various journalists or various RTI activists. So this is the problem with this sedition law in India with section 124 of IPC, 4A of IPC. That's why what happened in 2022, Supreme Court of India has asked the central government to reconsider this law. So when Supreme Court has asked central government to reconsider this law, so in that case, Supreme Court has said that till the government reconsiders this law, no new FIRs or no new trials or no new proceedings will be done under this law. That means until the time the government is not reconsidering this law, so no new fresh cases or no new prosecutions will be done under the sedition law. So this was the judgment which was given by the Supreme Court of India in 2022. But now what Supreme Court has said, that though government has not reconsidered that law, so you cannot start any fresh trial or FIR. But if the accused person only says, if the accused person only says that I am willing to follow that complete procedure and please give the permission to the authorities to start the investigation and please continue the trial. If the accused person was only saying that hearing can continue, we don't have any objection, then you can follow the complete trials, because in 2022 Supreme Court has said that no trial can continue until the central government is reconsidering that law. But now Supreme Court is saying, if the accused person is only saying that continue the proceedings, continue the trial, finish the trial, then trials can be continued. That means court can hear all those things. Court can continue the hearings. Now, why accused person would say that? Because see, many persons are being in jail since past 7 years, 10 years, 20 years. Until now, even for some of them, trials have not been started or trials are still going on. And when Supreme Court has freezed new trials in 2022, so that's so because of that, time is also increasing. So trials are not being continued or trials are not being ended. So that's why Supreme Court has said, if the accused person says that trials can continue, then courts can hear the proceeding. So this was the complete news. Now, next is very important article related to recent resolution which was passed in by the United Nations General Assembly. So let's discuss about the background. Then we shall discuss that why India has abstained from voting. So see, what happened in 2025? In 2025, International Court of Justice, that is ICJ, has given an important advisory opinion. What is important here? That in 2025, International Court of Justice has given an advisory opinion. And what was that advisory opinion? That opinion said that all the countries in the world have the legal responsibility. Legal responsibility of what? Legal responsibility to fight climate change, to reduce the overall emissions, as well as to protect the environment. So in 2025, this was the advisory opinion which was given by the International Court of Justice. Now, based on this opinion only, recently Vanuatu, which is a small Pacific island country, so based on this advisory opinion of ICJ, Vanuatu has moved a resolution in United Nations General Assembly. So based on this advisory opinion, Vanuatu has moved a resolution, and now this resolution of Vanuatu was now adopted by United Nations General Assembly. Okay, so if you want to adopt any resolution, then you want the support of majority of the countries. So how this resolution was adopted? This resolution was adopted in which 141 countries were in the favor. That means 141 countries agreed that all these climatic responsibilities must be legal responsibility. So they must be legally binding. So that this is being said by 141 countries. That means they were in favor. 8 countries were against this. So according to 8 countries, a responsibility must not be legal. And 8 countries, so among them USA and Russia were the important countries. So who voted against this resolution? And 28 countries, including India, abstained from voting. So since 141 countries voted in favor, that's why United Nations General Assembly could adopt this resolution. Now let's discuss quickly that why India has abstained from voting in this resolution which was adopted by United Nations General Assembly. So if we talk about India, So India has said that India is not against any climate action. So what India is saying, that India will fully favor, India will fully promote the efforts which are reducing the impacts of climate change. So basically, India is not against any climate action. But problem here is that since this opinion was given by International Court of Justice, so since this opinion was given by any court, and based on opinion of that court, you are taking the resolution. India is saying if you want to take any climate action, use platforms like UNFCCC, because on these kind of platforms we discuss climate related issue. So any court will not decide that anything will be advisory or anything will be binding on countries all over the world. So this was the point of India, that India is not against climate action, but India want a proper route. So anything must not be said by any court. Court will not say what has to be done, what not has to be done. We must use the proper platforms, for example platform of UNFCCC. And India is saying that we have already discussed that ICJ has given the advisory opinion. Advisory opinion means you can do that also, you cannot do that also, it's just kind of a recommendation. So why we should adopt the legally binding provisions? Next thing is, there is a concept of common but differentiated responsibility. So India is saying if we are adopting this resolution based on the opinion of ICJ, then it will put disproportionate amount of pressure on the developing countries. Because if we talk about the historic emissions, so historically developed countries are the ones who are the major polluters. But if you make this thing legally binding, then it will be a problem for developing countries, because they do not have that amount of resources so that easily they can curb the harmful emissions from the fossil fuel. Now, if we talk about USA, so USA was among the country who voted against the resolution. So why USA voted against it? Because in no, from past few years, USA is promoting the use of fossil fuels, because more and more energy generation is required. That's why in past few years, USA is promoting the use of fossil fuels. That's why USA voted against it. Now, since we are discussing in detail about International Court of Justice, so quickly, yes. So since we were discussing about the International Court of Justice, so quickly let's discuss some of the prelims related facts. So first important thing here is that when it was established, so International Court of Justice was established in 1945. So year is very important. Second thing is, International Court of Justice is the principal judicial organ. It is principal judicial organ of United Nations. And where are its headquarters? So its headquarters are located in Hague, which is in Netherlands. So whenever you read about any organization, its year of formation as well as its headquarters are very important. Now, as you already know that if we talk about principal organs of United Nations, so we have since six principal organs, and out of that ICJ is one of them. But for other five principal organs, the headquarters are located in New York itself. But this is ICJ, International Court of Justice, is only principal organ of United Nations for which the headquarters are located in Hague, Netherlands. Now, if we talk about the role or if we talk about the functions of this Court of Justice, so basically it deals with the legal disputes among various countries. Important thing here is it gives the advisory opinion. That means it does not give any legally binding opinion. So these were some of the important facts related to ICJ. Now, a quick prelims question for you. So the question is, consider the following statements regarding Vande Mataram. First is, it was written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Second, it was originally published in the novel Anand Mat. And third is, it is the national anthem of India. So I think we discussed in detail about Vande Mataram. So please try to give answer of this question. Okay, so I think that's all from my side for today. Thank you and have a nice day.